the Kitsap Literary Artists and Writers and its monthly author showcase. I am your host, Peter Stockwell. Author Michele Makinson is visiting with us this month at the Bremerton Kitsap Access Television Studios. Michele is a paraeducator in a local school district system and an accomplished author of 9 books. Welcome to our broadcast for the Kitsap Literary Artists and Writers.
Thank you for having me.
As I understand it, you write under a pseudonym. You write mysteries, thrillers, spy novels, and young adult books about dragons.
Yes.
So tell us about your stories.
Well, I've always written. Since I was a child, I would make up stories and write. And it took a gentleman, Lee Roddy, when I lived up in the San Juan Islands, that I met him. He was an accomplished author of young adult Christian books. And he wrote some TV shows in Grizzly Bear Adams. So he
really?
promised me that I had to write every day and keep in touch with him, and I started doing that, and so I started writing.
Where do you find all your ideas then?
My ideas just come to me. I've got my new series, Jackie Lee, and he's a German Shepherd dog, and he's a detective. And so he'll never end. He has so many things to do. And so he narrates all of the books.
You speak canine?
Yes, I understand canine.
And it's in German, too. If he's a German
Jackie
Shepherd.
Lee speaks a lot of languages.
Well, I think that's it's a pretty wild idea to have a dog who is your protagonist, basically.
He is.
The one who's going to run the show.
Yes. Yes.
And you have success with that.
He has a new book that's just coming out, and it's just hit the Kindle market, and it's The Secret of the Carousel Horse.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes. And then I also have another series with Sophia, and she fell through time and lives in King Arthur's time. And her German Shepherd followed her through, and that's an adventure series. And I have a new book out with that also. Sophia and the Dragons of Luzur.
You really do spend a lot of time, even though you are a paraeducator during the school system's year, you spend a lot of time when you're not in the schools writing.
Whenever I'm not in school, I'm either writing or playing my violin or playing with my dog, my German Shepherd.
Now we have you playing a violin as well.
Yes.
So you really are a virtuoso of many areas.
I try.
Tell me you're an artist too, and I'll just shake my head. Yeah,
yes.
There we go. It's okay with me. Yeah. So your day includes working for a living.
Yes,
during the school year in
yes.
a not to be named school district. And when you're crafting a new book, does any of your experience as an educator come into them?
Well, a couple of years ago, I was writing a new book, and a 7th grader told me, I said, "Do you have any advice?" And so he told me I need to put a white dragon in my book, a good one. He's sick of all the stories out there with bad dragons. Yeah, dark dragons. And so he graduated from high school last year, and I reminded him of that. He thought that was pretty funny.
Now, does he have credit in the book? Did you
No,
write the book
no,
yet?
because he was a minor. Yeah, this book, it was written 7 years ago.
Sophia and the Dragon.
Yes.
Written 7 years ago. He's not credited yet.
Not yet.
But he's graduated. He's now
No,
of
he's
majority
graduated.
Age. He's of majority age. He can be credited. That's good. So you've lived in many parts of the world, as I understand from looking at your website.
Yes, I have.
As a child, you traveled around as a military brat.
Yes, I did. My dad was stationed in Germany. So I grew up, we lived in Luxembourg for a while, and a lot of my stories take place over there. So my Sophia stories do.
Mm-hmm. And you also won an award for an article when you were in 8th grade?
When I was in the 8th grade, we lived in Rome, New York, and I wrote an article on horses.
And tell us about that.
It was horse anatomy, actually.
The various parts of horses?
Yes, various parts of horses.
And they need to be taken care of.
Yes, and how to take care of them, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So it wasn't a mystery or it was more of a factual article.
But you actually won an award for it.
I did.
So you can actually put yourself out there as an award-winning writer.
There you go.
I
Yes.
guess. It's like myself. I'm an internationally known writer because somebody in Italy bought a book, and somebody in Japan bought a book, and somebody in Australia bought a book. So I'm internationally known, right? And we
Right.
are.
Well, my books, I look on Amazon, you know, on my website and everything, and a lot of my hits are from Brazil and Ireland and France and Germany and Czechoslovakia and
Isn't that
all
fun?
over. It is
Isn't that fun?
yes.
Yeah. Well, it's always nice to be known that we are international,
Yes, it is.
because this marketing thing is a real challenge for many writers.
Marketing is a big challenge.
So you have participated in the Peninsula Garden and Home Expo at the Kitsap Fairgrounds,
Yes.
and your Harbor Festival that we just finished up with, and the Bridge Blast, which some of us had some success there.
I did.
You
Yes, I
did.
did.
You had a lot of success.
Yes,
and
I did.
Not that I'm jealous or anything, but seems
you.
that they were more interested in your fantasies and your
German Shepherd.
German shepherds than they were in my ship travel and mysteries.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm
well.
sorry.
That's okay. It's one of the things. And outside of various festivals that we have coming up, which we'll talk about in a little while, is there anything else you do to find an engaging audience? To make those people just hungry for your books?
Basically, I blog on my website,
Okay.
and so you know, I try with that. But basically, it's just my shows. It's just going to all of the shows that we go to. That's the best marketing tool out there.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth and just being present with your books.
Do you ever buy any advertising?
I bought a lot of advertising on Facebook, and I got a lot of people following me, but I didn't sell one book.
Yeah, that's
So,
the crazy thing about it.
Yes.
I hand out business cards like they're water.
I do too.
And I don't know if they're ever going to amount to anything, but I still keep getting a little paycheck from Amazon and Kindle Direct. And
Well, after our
England.
last sale on the Bridge Blast,
Yeah.
a lot of people took my card. I had 6 Kindle sales that night. I looked on Draft 2 Digital, so
yeah,
people did go on.
so marketing is working by
It
word
is.
of mouth.
Yes.
Do you feel like it's a success?
It's
you?
starting to be.
Yeah. How long have you been writing? I mean, seriously
let's
on
see,
these books and
seriously
things.
writing probably for 9 years.
Okay, so about the same time period as I have been doing.
Yes.
Well, CLAW sponsors several book signing events during the course of the year in which you are participating. Do you have any
Yes.
other plans for signing events outside of what we've put together?
Well, next weekend I've got the Kitsap Festival in Kingston
Oh, I'm going to be
for
there
3
too.
days. You're going to be there too. I'm not there with Claw or Niwa. And I've got,
Is Niwa up there too?
Niwa's not up
I
there.
didn't think so.
Yeah. And mostly I'm just doing events with, sometimes I do, yes, I'm doing all of the AKC events with my neighbor. He makes pins. He makes dragon pins and dog pins and woodworking.
And AKC is the American Kennel Club.
Yes, it is. And so I have a show coming up in September in Bremerton. And so we do a few of the AKC shows around here. I do that with him.
Do you have a dog?
I have a German Shepherd.
Is he the model for your dog? For your?
On the back right here, this is the dog that was my first German Shepherd. I just lost her a year ago. And she was my model. And my other dog is shown on one of my other books. This one right here. Yes.
And so are they also models of characters?
Yes, it
So-
was
so you
Destiny,
do
my
d-
first dog that was Kanani in my Sophia series.
So you definitely speak canine.
I do. And I had a golden retriever in Hawaii named Kanani, but I didn't have a golden retriever, so I turned the dog into a German Shepherd. And my pen name, J.M.M. Adams, I started using that because M.M. Adams is my maiden name, but J is for Jackie Lee, the German Shepherd dog.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah, and people, for those of you who really do want to find her, you can look up Michele Makinson and you will find her, but J.M.M. Adams is her pseudonym that her books are written under.
And then my new website is dragonlockworks.
Oh, that's right, Dragon, yes. And you just put together a Wix site?
I did.
Yeah, because I just signed up for it.
I know. It's so
Yeah.
exciting. It's so much fun.
And so go to Wix and look up, Is it under Michele?
It's under dragonlockworks.com, and if you sign up and become a member, you get a free audiobook if you get a hold of me.
Okay, we'll put that over your head too today.
Okay.
It'll show up so people know where to go. And
Yes,
how to
because
get a hold
my
of
books
you.
are all going up on Audible.
Excellent. Excellent. When are you planning on giving up your day job and plunging full time into this world of ours?
I wanted to do it 2 years ago, but maybe 2 more years.
So is that because of the idea that those of us who are trying to support ourselves as writers don't have enough money?
Exactly. Yes. I need to wait until I can retire. Yes.
Yeah, I can tell you from a point of view of having been retired from education for 9 years, it's very nice to have a steady income coming in.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. What's your mission with writing?
My mission with writing is to write just good, fun novels, cozy novels, and for people to have adventure with, or just to enjoy something reading, take their mind off their life, or to make some of them to make a point in life. There's the one story I have that I'm going to start writing is about the stolen children of Scotland. My great-grandfather is one of those children, and he was stolen on a ship and taken over to Canada and put in a work camp. And he and a little boy escaped and then went all through Canada and into Michigan. They ran away.
So is it going to be a memoir style, or are you going to fictionalize
No, I'm going to
it?
make it fictional and make it into an adventure
Well, we do
story.
write about what we know.
Right.
And
Yes.
so that's exciting. That's an
Yes.
interesting story.
Yes. And then this story right here, the MI5 story, my husband, that was written after his father, he found out when his father died and his mother died. He went over to England with his sister and they went through the attic and found out his father was really an MI5 spy. And he told everyone he worked for the railroad. So that book is written in place of all the knowledge that we know. We made an adventure out of it.
You really do have quite a background. No wonder you're writing stuff, because I can see as you write your mission, of course, as you explained it, but you also have a message for your audience about the incredible abilities of dogs. Tell us about that.
I've always loved dogs. I don't know what it is. I know they're amazing. My German Shepherd's my best friend. So.
Does your German Shepherd sit in your lap while you write?
No, she lays underneath my feet.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I have a cat that sits in my lap.
No, my parrot sits on my shoulder, though.
Well, that's good. Oh, you have parrots too?
I do, yes.
One?
One.
One parrot.
Yes, one.
When you
And I
write-
have a horse. And my horse is in one of my books, too. She was kidnapped.
So Kidnapped is a pirate story with the parrot and the horse.
No, in Sandy Island, she was kidnapped. No, not Sandy Island.
You have too many
St.
books?
Perez, she was kidnapped.
St. Moritz, yeah.
She was kidnapped, yes.
Well, it's incredible. So who publishes your books?
Well, originally I was going with Create Space, and then they went to KDP Publishing.
Yeah, Kitsap
And I
Direct
got a
Publishing.
little bit annoyed with the inconvenience of locking my books up, and I had to prove I was the owner and everything. So I went over to Draft 2 Digital, and I've been using them. And then I'm using a local printer so that my books go on Kindle to 20 or so or different outlets all over. And then I'm starting to use a local business, Retro Space Printing.
Yeah, we know.
And they're in Poulsbo.
We know Ingemar Anderson up at Kitsap Publishing and Printing.
Yes, so
Retro Space.
So they're going to start printing my paperback books for me.
Yeah, he prints my business cards, and Tim Michael up there does my formatting.
Yeah, he's great. I met
He
with
does
Tim today.
Does a very good job with it. So.
Yeah, so I'm excited. My 2 new books are being printed by them this week.
Well, very, very good.
Yes.
Very good. Have you found obstacles that you have had to overcome to get into bookstores and libraries and such?
No, bookstores take my books. My books were all in the Port Gamble bookstore, and they were selling quite well until someone went in and stole them all. So I decided not to put any more books in there.
The Port Gamble bookstore is
the one in Port Gamble.
it is, but its name is something seven.
It's Candle and
Oh, it's changed
something.
its name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So I've had
yes.
books up there too. I've done signings up there.
And then, curiously, I have a teacher that's retired, and he was my editor in all of my books until recently. The last one he did was the MI5 book. So I sent him one of those books from Amazon, and the Amazon said they sent it there, and the post office said that it was sent there, but he got some kind of yoga book, and that book was missing. So somebody switched.
So we go back to way back in our way back time to.
I don't know. And it was right after all of them were stolen out of the bookstore, so that was kind of strange.
There's a book in that.
There is a book in that.
There is a book in
yes,
that.
a story in that.
You write that.
Okay.
Many writers set a time for their writing. What do you do?
I write whenever I have time. I don't set a time.
You don't set a time.
I'm walking my dog and I'm thinking of stories. I'm driving, I'm thinking of stories. I've got another one. The police down our road were having a canine dog sniff a few weeks ago, looking for someone, and I have a big story with that one.
Wonder what they were searching for.
They were searching for a fugitive, and they found a car with a bomb in it. So I think they're going to blow up our local casino, maybe.
Could be.
I don't know.
There's another book. Yeah, and it's funny because an aspiring author might want to learn from just how we get ideas for books and then learn from our routines. And it is okay if you don't have a set routine. I know a lot of authors who, they get up, I forgot who said it. They said, well, how do you get inspired to write? And he says, well, I get inspired at 9 o'clock and I write until 12 o'clock. He says, you're inspired? He says, uh-huh. What inspires you? I have to write at 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock.
Yeah, no.
And, you know, so that's fine. I mean, a lot of people have to write when they can write.
I
don't write on a regular basis.
I could write with chalk on a sidewalk, a story, okay, if I had to.
Yes, but that would be a temporary story.
So it'd be a temporary story. I know.
You'd have to pick up all those pieces of concrete and take them with you.
So while I'm working at school, I'm always thinking of stories too, and so on break I put notes down. See.
So you have a lot of synopses that you have put together?
Yes.
Isn't that fun?
Yes.
I have a lot of fun with it.
Yes, it is fun. I think I'd be very, very bored if I didn't write.
Well, that's one of the reasons I had this nugget of a story, motive right there. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to write it, and I was getting close to retirement age, so I decided I had to have something to do in retirement. I wasn't going to be bored. I wasn't going to sit around and do nothing, you know, be the typical cartoon character that Opal's always on his case about.
Right.
And so I wrote the book, and from that book, another one showed up because those characters said, tell our story. And so I wrote it, and that was Motivations, the next one. And then, of course, what happens after Motive? Well, you know, he's got an uncle up in Snohomish County, and so these things start showing up in my head, and we start writing them out. So a typical day for those of you out there as new authors might be that you're working full-time, and you're hardly thinking about what it is that you're doing for your work because you're writing notes about what you want to write about.
No, I always think about what I'm doing for my work.
Yeah, but so let's say a book club or another organization wanted to invite you to speak. Best way to get a hold of you is?
At my new email, Michele@dragonlockworks.com.
Okay. And you do have a website?
I do have a website.
We're going to run those over your head, by the way.
Yes, dragonlockworks.com.
Okay. And you're willing to speak?
Yes,
to
I
groups,
am. Yes,
to
I am.
individual, to
yes.
go and let them know what you
yes,
do?
Yes, I am. At one of the book sales that I went to, a mother asked me if I could go over, but it was way too far away, over past Puyallup to a homeschool group and instruct the kids on writing.
Why is Puyallup too far away?
Oh, it was past Puyallup because I work.
Oh, this is during the school
north.
year.
It's during the school year.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's okay.
Yes.
You have other book projects you have kind of alluded to so far.
Yes.
That are coming up. And of course, you've mentioned a lot of ideas for new books.
Yes.
So I imagine they're going to show up.
Yes.
But what are you working on right now that's coming out?
I just finished a book, Sophia and the Dragons of Luzur, and I'm doing a sequel to that one.
Okay. And about what time can we expect those to show up?
I usually have a new book every summer. So next summer.
So next summer?
Yes.
So you write about one book a year?
Yes, but I had two come out this summer because last summer I went to Spain to see my son.
Oh, that's too bad. You had to go to Spain, huh? I don't feel sorry for you then. So we writers all begin with the first word and that first sentence and that first paragraph, and we construct and we continue until we have a full manuscript. Do you have advice for writers that are new to this business of ours?
Just write. Just write down your ideas and then go back and reconstruct it and, and put it, fill in the blanks.
Do you ever worry about what you write?
No,
I don't. You just write it?
I just write it.
And then what happens to all that manuscript? Because so many times when we write, we put in so much. And there are times when we have that author intrusion.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
Yes. So I used to write on a typewriter. I used to write. And now I just do my...
Keyboarding.
I just use my laptop or my iPad for notes.
Yeah. Gone are the days when we used paper. Gone are the days when we used a typewriter that had paper.
Right.
And we had to edit those with whiteout.
That was very difficult writing
hard.
during those days, yes.
Very hard.
Very hard.
So much easier. And then, of course, we use our little programs like Grammarly. And,
Yes.
And we edit our books. And then we have other eyes.
It helps me with other eyes.
You do have other eyes that work.
I do, a lot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have an editor?
I do. I have, well, my editor was my professor that retired, my teacher that retired. So now I've got some other retired teachers that are doing my work, and then I've got fans that look over my work.
A little beta writing?
Yes.
Beta readers?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, since you write fiction, do you have any advice for nonfiction writers?
For nonfiction writers, do your research.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Well, even research for a fiction book too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So
So a lot of my ideas come from Jackie Lee. I mean, this last one, the Carousel Horse, they were looking for some lost treasures. So different events. Sandy Island was an island that really disappeared in the South Pacific. So I decided to write a story about it.
The rising tide gathered no sand,
And that's right.
and away it went. Wow. Well, Michele, I want to thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Having our interview here, because this is an exciting business for me. I thoroughly enjoy it. And you've shared with us what you do in this literary world of ours, and that's a lot of fun. And I invite you to be part of our Kitsap Literary Artists and Writers. You are going to be coming to the fair.
Yes, I will be there.
So for those of you who are happy about the Kitsap County Fair and Stampede, we will have authors there for 5 days. And we're going to be located in the pavilion. I don't know exactly where we are, but Kitsap Literary Artists and Writers does have a double booth, 10 by 20, and each time period of about 3 hours, they'll have 10 authors there, 7 to 10 authors there. And I look forward to following you now that I'm part of Wix.
I know.
And have signed up for there.
Thank
and
you.
We can share our endeavors, our common endeavors.
Absolutely.
At that point in writing. And as you continue working together, may you host in the future.
Yes.
You have people you know.
Absolutely. Yes.
Bring them in.
Yes, absolutely. I will. Yes.
And I think that'd be a lot of fun. And we would enjoy having you come to our meetings. They're the first and third Wednesdays of the month over at the Spiro's in West Bremerton on Kitsap Way. And our meetings are at 7 o'clock.
Okay. I will try to do that this summer.
Yeah, summer's a good time because
Yes.
I know what it's like when you're teaching
Yes.
or working with teachers. And that's hard.
School year's
that
hard.
really is hard.
Yeah.
I would like to also thank all of our viewers for tuning in to the Bremerton Kitsap Access Television and viewing this Kitsap Literary Artists and Writers production. I also wish to thank the BCAT staff on the cameras and in the director's chair. Our broadcasts are scheduled for Saturday evenings at 6 p.m. on Wave Cable Channel 3 and Comcast Channel 12. You can also view a live stream on the BCAT website at bcat or bremerton.gov, and there's bkat.org. And these are at 6 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. So if you are outside of the Pacific time zone, then adjust for that, the number of hours it would take either way to be able to watch it. And do keep in touch with our social media and author web pages to discover where you can meet local authors and artists. And don't forget, Claw and many local authors will attend several events across the West Sound region. Come and meet the people who write the books you cannot resist at the Kitsap County Fair and Stampede, August 21st through the 25th, and the Bremerton Blackberry Festival, August 31st through September 2nd. And in the 4 Saturdays in October, which is book month, we are going to be at the Kitsap Mall. And I hope everyone has a pleasant evening and a productive and fascinating week. And until next Saturday, I am Peter Stockwell with Kitsap Literary Artists and Writers, in conjunction with the Bremerton Kitsap Access Television. Good night.